Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been long. I realize it's almost 3 months ever since I dropped a video, but I'm back and hopefully I become more consistent. And as I mentioned, this channel is all about beauty, femininity, godly, and everything random. And today, in a random video, we're going to be crocheting. One of the things that I did not talk about when I was introducing myself is that I love to crochet. I'm everything DIY. For today's project, we are working on a dress that I probably will have inserted here. I'm going to do it in bits. So this is the first part of the video, and we're going to be making a top. And I want this top in a form of a corset, so we're going to start with bra cups, and I already finished the first one. This is not so beginner friendly. In case you're a beginner, you might need to watch like detailed videos about this particular project or stitches, but this is more of a spoken pattern. And for materials, we're going to be using a hook. This is a size 6, but I think any hook can work as long as it matches your yarn. And also I think for hook sizes, you just need to work around how to tighten stitches, and in case you're using this, how to loosen them. And this is the yarn. I'm going to be using Robin 100% acrylic. This is color purple, and I'm going to be doubling the thread because it is really so thin. Then a tape measure, of course, and a pair of scissors. So let's get into the video. We're going to start with the inner part of this bra cup. Like, it's more of an oval shape. So you're going to work with the increases and decreases in order to create that. After the slip knot, you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to turn. In the third stitch, you're going to make your first single crochet. You're going to work with single crochets because they are tighter than double crochets. So this is the first one, then the second one, then the third one in the first chain. So after the 3, you're going to turn your work and put a single crochet in every chain, still to maintain the 3. So I've done this, and this is what I have. I have 2 rows of 3 stitches. So we are now going to start the increases. You're going to chain 1, turn your work and put 2 single crochets in the first chain, then 2 single crochets in the last chain. Then the 2 middle ones, you're just going to put, the middle one, you're just going to put 1 single crochet. So now you have a total of 5. Then you turn your work. Then the next line, we're going to maintain the 5. So you're not increasing, you're just maintaining the 5. I realize when you continue to increase immediately, it becomes so wide that you have so many stitches, yet it is not enough to cover the entire breast. So we've maintained the 5. So you're going to chain 1, turn your work. Now you're going to increase. So you're going to be alternating this. One row you increase, the other row you maintain. One row you increase, the other you maintain until you reach a desired size. I'm a size small, and I did a total of 19 stitches. I increased up to 19. In case you're a bigger size, you might need to do more lines. In case you are smaller, you might need to do less. But I think I'm one of the smallest girlies, so I think this is the standard for a small girlie. And this is what we have so far. I did increases up to 19, and I also did the line of constants. Like I mentioned, I was doing a line of increases and then a line of constants. Then I put this different color thread to help me identify which line or which row I should start increases. So now I'm going to start decreases in order to complete the oval shape. And for that, I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, put my hook through the first stitch, pull through, put into the second, pull through, and then pull through all 2 at once. And the rest I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch until I'm left with 2 stitches at the end of the row. I'm left with 2 stitches, and what I'm going to do is the same thing that I did here. I'm going to put my hook through the first one, pull up a loop, put into the second, the very last one, pull up a loop, and then I have 3 loops and pull through all at once. So in case you're to count, you realize now you have a row of 17. And then the next row is going to be constant, 17, no increases. And then I'll decrease again to 15, then again do a row of constant. And this is what we have. I kept reducing until I had the 3 that we started with here. So after the reducing row, you still do a line of constant, just like how we started here. So this is the end of this part. Now we are going to work on this part. I don't know if you can see this. So what we're going to do is you choose one side, preferably the side where you ended the last stitch, chain one and turn this side. So we're going to do a line of single crochets throughout the line until we reach the end. I'll come to the end of this row, so I'm going to chain one, turn the work and go back and do single crochets like throughout, and then when I reach here I'll turn and do again. I'm going to do a total of I think 7 or 8. I'll just keep measuring or counting from this, and when I'm done I'll come back and we'll do the final part of this back up. So I did the 7 lines of single crochets for this upper part, and after the single line I'm doing single crochets like all around this back up. So when I reach here I'm going to turn my work and do a second line, and I'll have something like this at the end. So the trick here is to make sure you don't skip any lines or stitches as you single crochet, because it can be a bit tricky, and also not to put double crochet somewhere accidentally, because it will not curve as nicely as it needs to. Again, in case you have a bigger bust, you might need to do more lines here. You might need to do like 10 or 12, but like I mentioned, I'm a size small. Actually, I'm a size extra small. I think small is close to medium, but I'm extra small. Also, I'm doing this because I want full coverage, but I think it could also work for a small to medium. I'm done with the second back up, and we're going to be joining these two. So this was the last stitch. I'm going to chain one, then pull out the hook, go on top of this second back up, the very last stitch up, put my hook through and pull through this, chain one, and you will have this. So from the second back up, where the side where your hook is, you're going to slip stitch in the first stitch, then slip stitch in the second, chain one, turn your work, then a single crochet in one of the chains. Then this was the first chain, so you go to the second, create a slip stitch, go to the third, create a slip stitch. This seals off the connection from this first back up. So in order to create the second row, you're going to do the first slip stitch in the next chain, and then another slip stitch, then chain one, turn your work. So we are working two slip stitches on every back up, not necessarily every slip stitch. If you're to slip stitch and create a row from every chain, your work will be very loose because you will have so many stitches at the end of the project. So that's how we're going to be working. So when you chain, you realize in the middle you'll have created stitches. So next time when you're turning, you're going to be doing single crochets around these stitches just to close the gap. But in case there is any other way that you know better to close this middle part, the in between the brackets, you can as well use that. But for me, this is how I do it. So I guess you can see it is coming together. So I'm going to continue with that, and let me do the last row just in case maybe you didn't get it. So I'm going to slip stitch in the first one, slip stitch in the second one, chain one, turn my work. And now it's like I'm doing single crochets until I get here. But when I get in this row, I don't create single crochets. I instead do slip stitches for this and this. The number of stitches will keep increasing. And also you don't do a single crochet in this very one. That means you'll have done two. So you skip it, then do a slip stitch in the first one and the second one. So you'll have sealed off this line. So now we're going to the next line. So you're going to do this until you reach, and this is what we have after closing off the gap. I continue to do the same thing of slip stitching in the side and then doing single crochets in the middle, and I did this until I reached the highest point where I was increasing and where I started decreases, and that is here and here. And now we are going to work on the side, and for this we are going to first use the same technique of slip stitching in the sides as we close this gap. We're going to close this from here up to when we reach till here, so that we have a like one line that is straight from the sides to the middle, that is at least enough to enclose 3/4 of the entire chest. But for this particular dress, I want to leave the back there and create some crisscross lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do less measurements compared to my actual size. So for this, I'm going to make a chain of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to remove the hook, place it in the first chain, the first stitch, and attach it like this. So I'm going to chain 1 like this. So for this, I'm going to turn my work and do a slip stitch in the next stitch,
recording after the slip stitches, but after doing
and then another one,
my work and did single crochets,
and then I'll make a chain,
turned my work again and did more single crochets around the chain that brought me back to the back up, and then continued to do slip stitches while turning back to do single crochets around the chain. And after some time it stopped being a chain and it looked more like a strand that was holding the bra up.
here. So you're going to do the same until you join to this space. So when you're done with this, you do the same this side, and I will see you after that. And this is what we have at the end of the two sides. So I'm going to do single crochets. So this is where my thread is, and I'm going to do single crochets throughout to create like a baseline to help me continue the rest of the top. So I'm going to work single crochets all around, turn my work, come back, turn the work, come back until I have a desired length. So let me do that and I'll come back after that. This is what we have. I left off at around here without this part. So I continued to do single crochets until I had a total of 8 inches, 8 running from up, not necessarily below the bust, running from up to here. If you're different size, you can also do different measurements. And then when I measured my waist is about 24 inches. So the 24 inches, this particular part from here to here was like 14. So the remaining part is 10 inches. But I do not want full coverage for my back. I want to leave some space. So I'm doing 2.5, almost 3 inches for this other side. This also helps to create a corset effect at the back. So I'm doing almost 3, but the target was 2.5 because I still have another row. I created these holes and I still want to do another row to give it like a firm finish. And I'm going to do the same for this side. So at the end of it all, I want my waist to be measuring 19 from here up to here, and then the remaining inches that are supposed to do up to 24 are catering for the stretching, and then the part that is supposed to be left a bit behind. So let's assume 1 inch every side. It's going to leave about 3 inches to create the crisscrosses. So what I did this side was just I was using half double crochets. I did not want to use the single crochets because first of all I was tired, it's exhausting and it takes time, and secondly I think it gives a better stretch just in case the corset doesn't fit well. Yeah, so I'm going to do the same this side. Just going to attach my yarn around here or here depending on what I prefer, but I'm likely to use this so that I weave in these ends. I'm going to start from here, do a line of half double crochets, turn my work, do another one, turn my work until I have the same number that I have this side. Then after this, I'm going to use this very thread. This side I'm going to attach something, another piece of thread. I'm going to use this thread to create the last line here that is supposed to create a firm finish for the holes, and then run it like throughout the entire top and come back. So like I mentioned, this might not be so beginner friendly, but if you're a crocheter, you definitely know what I'm talking about. I may not show you everything to that. And this is what we have after closing all the borders. So So I forgot to mention how I create this. I just skip a stitch, like count 1 2 3 4 5 stitches, skip 1 1 2 3 4 5, skip 1. That's how I create this, and then I did another line of single crochets to give it like a firm finish. Yeah, so this is what we have, and I also, like I mentioned, I did a line all around. That's why we have like a cleaner finish. Then here I did slip stitches. I did not do any stitch. So this is what we have, and I'm going to create so it is supposed to be like this. This is the space for the crisscrosses, and now I'm going to the lower part, which is supposed to be like a skirt. So I mentioned that my waist was 24, and this, the whole of this was 19. So 19 minus 24 is about 5 inches. So I'm not going to do a chain of 5 inches. This chain is exactly 2 inches, but remember I want 5. But if you stretch it, it goes up to 3, then plus what this other material is going to be stretching, that equals to a 5. Because if you do exactly, it will be too big and it will sag. So after the chain, I'm going to put my hook through this, the very last stitch, and pull through, and then slip stitch. So I'm going to leave it at that and mark the end of our top. In case maybe you just wanted a top, you can do like 2 more lines to close off this and put a string. Or you can just leave this out, you just use the crisscrosses. But I realized they make the top fold a bit if you do not have a baseline. Yeah, so this marks the end of the top. In case you just want a top, you are done. In case you want to continue with the project, I'll be back with part 2. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Till the next time. Bye bye.